Used 392 Durangos like this are an absolute bargain. We're going to take a look at this one. The BMW here of Pleasant Grove is providing us with this 392. Link to their website in the description down below. Have any questions, need any help, just ask for Jason Omar. Let's get into it. Powering this is a 6.4 liter Hemi V8 that goes to an 8-speed automatic. Now, it normally produces 475 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, but yeah, this one with the Whipple, it's putting out more. We'll see how fast it is. If you're looking for more straight-to-the-point reviews like this, make sure you subscribe. Now, the Durango 392 has lots of cool hood vents. You can see the front end is, well, mostly open to help out with airflow. Again, got to feed that big engine. You pair that with the racing stripes and this thing just looks so cool. 285 by 40 by 22 for the tire and wheel setup. We got Vossen wheels on this particular one. Brembo brakes as well. And here's your side profile. It actually looks really nice with those Vossen wheels and everything being paint matched on this. Again, that's just factory Durango. Now with the 392, you do get the SRT logo there on the key fob, but yeah, it just has lock, unlock, opening for the hatch, remote start. And if we pop this open, again, this is a practical 3-row SUV, so you've got the third row. It is manual for the fold up and fold down function. You actually get SRT on the floor mats. But yeah, I mean, this is a supercharged family car at this point, right? And it's power for the closing too. Get you guys an exhaust clip in a little bit, but yeah, definitely has a beefy exhaust note. And I love how the stripes continue all the way through to the back, and they're even along the roof as well. That will cap things off for the exterior of this Durango. Let's take a look at the interior. So the SRT has really nice interior. You can see lots of fancy trim in the seats too. You've got all the nice leather. And this thing obviously is a pre-owned vehicle, but it's actually held up really well. The rear passengers do get their own climate zone. They also get USB ports, heated seats, and an outlet in the back. And although the Durango's not massive, it's actually pretty spacious when it comes to passenger space and all that. We do have vents throughout the top, and this is nice with the whole headliner. Let's now take a look up front. Blind spot monitoring, you actually do get thicker glass. Again, really nice trim all over. Automatic for the front two windows. SRT there on the seat, again perforated all down the center. You got your power adjustments with lumbar support there on the side. Then here's a quick look at the steering wheel, perforated on either side. You got paddles on the back, radio controls. We've got our cruise control, you can adapt it, look at that. And then, so you can see the mileage, almost 100,000 miles. Not quite, I mean, we've got 16,000 miles to go, but still. And you can change the info. And I'm actually impressed with that fuel economy rating. 12.3 for a supercharged V8 ain't bad at all. And then you've got nice trim all across the dash. Potato cam for the backup cam. That's the one downside with this. But as for the rest of the infotainment system, I mean, it works just fine. It's decent with the response time. It does have heated and ventilated seats, by the way. Physical buttons down below for the climate stuff. You do have your launch control with this as well. Got some USB ports there. Shifter. Cup holders, the center console, set up. I got soft touch trim there, and no sunroof, but like I said, nice headliner. Now this is priced at about $35,000 roughly, so see how it drives. So I do think this is kind of humorous. I looked at this one to review because I thought, hey, used Durango 392, that's actually kind of a interesting like used car purchase, right? Because you can now get this powertrain brand new in the RT. Now it's not going to have, well, it'll still have a nice interior, but some of the stuff won't be as fancy. But anyways, you can get that starting at like 50. So it's like, man, should really buy one of these used for mid-30s? And I was like, yeah, we'll do the video. We'll see what people think. And then I get in the Durango and I'm like, this doesn't sound right. Not in a bad way. Then I pop the hood and I go, it's supercharged. So now this makes it a much more interesting value proposition because to supercharge something ain't cheap. I mean, even if you do it for dirt cheap, you're still usually spending like $10,000, $15,000. And it's usually more than that. So, yeah, this is interesting. I mean, isn't this crazy that you can legally buy an SUV with, I mean, it's got to have like at least 700 horsepower. It might even have more, who knows. But yeah, you can just buy this and you don't need a special license as long as you got just over $30,000. It's crazy. Okay, yeah, you can... I'm just like maybe 15% throttle, and you can feel... And I'm not even in... I'm pretty sure this is in... Yeah, I'm in auto mode. I'm not even in sport mode. And it's like, it wants to go. Now, if you guys follow the channel for a longer time, you know that I had a Ram TRX for a couple of years. And so I know what it's like to live with a supercharged V8. And here's the deal. Maintenance on it wasn't bad at all. It's just regular oil changes, tire rotations. I did have an issue with it very early on, but that was a manufacturing defect that got covered under warranty. The biggest thing is just fuel economy. They go, like, that truck almost bankrupted me, I feel like, because I spent, I think on average, just on that truck, I think I spent like $5,000, and this was when gas prices were lower, by the way, not what they are today. I spent like $5,000 a year in gas. And I did the math, and it was like, if you took the truck up to, I think it was like 100,000 miles, it would have ended up being like $40,000 or something, like $50,000 in gas. It was some absurd number, and I was like, wow, just in gas you could literally buy another vehicle. this thing. Okay, we're all nice and warmed up. Oh, buddy. You know what I will say? It doesn't seem like... It doesn't feel as crazy as like a Hellcat. It doesn't have the same torque. That's what I noticed about aftermarket supercharger kits put on these Dodges. It seems like they've got the top end. They just don't have like the low end power. I mean, let's see. Okay. That was some grunt. So it was just, I think it might have just been in too high of a gear. It might have just been in too high of a gear. Goodness gracious. Man, that'll make someone need to change their pants. So, wait, custom mode. I had to put auto. In conclusion, buying a supercharged used V8, well, there can be some risk to that. Like, who knows how this thing was driven, right? That's always a question. But the price is very appealing. Very appealing. Because it's like, man, mid-30s, and this is a lot of car. But one thing to note, if you do have a little bit of extra money, I mean, you could just get a brand new RT for like, what, 50-ish? And then supercharge it. So like, let's say you could be like, well, yeah, that still ain't cheap, but that's still cheaper than a Durango Hellcat, because you could buy an RT for like literally, yeah, 50, then be like probably 65 supercharge. Yeah, this thing's fun. So like 65 versus like a Durango Hellcat will set you back 90. Not bad. Let me know your thoughts on this. Would you go for one of these used supercharged V8 vehicles? Today's giveaway is a classic Corvette Stingray and a brand new Corvette Stingray. Use code BHC to get 4x bonus entries into the giveaway.